Welcome guys to this video. Yesterday, and of course even today, I was feeling very lightly. Now, what is that supposed to mean is when body feels so kind of light and mind feels so relaxed and calm. And I usually used to feel like this long time before. And for more information, for more into it, if we go, when people take uh, alcohol or any kind of drugs, or any kind of chemical or maybe energy drink or caffeine, anything, so they starts to like make you calm or energetic, or they put you in a kind of state that you feel very good. And yesterday I was feeling like that. So now my point is, I used to feel like this even before. I mean, I have felt it, but then I never recognized this. Like, what is that feeling actually? What is that feeling where I feel alive? I feel like now I'm living actually. I'm living means experiencing living, not thinking about it. And of course, thinking itself is not a problem. If we say that thinking is a problem, then we are not looking at it, what we are actually saying. Because thinking helps you at the same time. But the thing is, if you get stuck in thinking, then you never go beyond it. I mean, you never get to live. So, for example, uh, when people say, I want to control my mind or I want to control my thoughts, my emotions, I don't want to lose myself in any way, like whatever people mean. So, when other people say that, you cannot control your mind, like you cannot use your thoughts to control your other thoughts. So, in this part, there is realization, and that realization is when you don't give much importance to mind, when you understand that what is really happening. So in that state, I really felt like, you know very like I don't exist. I mean, of course I was very active physically, moving around and that all, but I felt like yesterday, even today, that I'm the one uh, that turning everything into mess. So what I'm pointing out is the knowledge of I. So, like in my previous video, I talked about, you know, the more ego you have, the less you become. Because the ego that you're gonna have out of words, out of knowledge, and out of revenge or anger and all that, or repetition, and you use your energy. So it's just like motivation. For 1 2 days you might feel very high, after watching some videos or listening to music, but you never understand, like we never understand, let me use we, that this ego is conditioned, and what we are doing is we are just uh, uh, conditioning it in our own way, uh, how we want it, and we don't go beyond it. Despite we condition it, still we go and suffer in it in future. So when you realize that physically I exist, but mentally I don't have to hold I too much. Means this so much self of obsession. I'm this, I'm that. So if we can move to, that's why this religions exist, because religions, they are not about you, they are about God. But what they do is that they take away God from self. They think that God is something that is out there, but in reality God is within us. Means that when you don't have ego, you see everything. So ego can be the reason why most people don't see the truth. So I made a video where I said that things are not hard, but you make them. And I was trying to point out things, and then there's a guy who wrote that, like, I think you are high, what do you smoke? Now why do people say this is because you cannot destroy something, and the way only to see the truth is to see it with only mind, with the mind only. So I found out that it's very hard to point out, and even if you point out, it's personal. So you have to see it for yourself, that what is really happening. So what I want to say here is this self-obsession, I, this I is scared, and all fears, problems, situations, and all that is linked with I. So now it is scared for the rest of the time or life that you have. So if you can move this self and find peace, people talk about peace after they die. I mean, of course they say, like, if I die I will go to peace. So the thing is, they never question is that what is even peace. So in the present moment, if you can feel yourself, and I call that expression state, is a kind of, no, expression doesn't mean you express yourself or kind of, but for me, if I'm using me, is that expression means something that is just expression of the truth, or expression of the something extraordinary that is so ordinary, and this is our natural self. Actually, we think that enlightenment or spirituality has to do with, they have to do something with higher consciousness. No, they look so higher, spirituality, waking up, reality, that all, they look so higher and uncomfortable, but in reality, or in with the truth, if you see it, life becomes much more easier, because it's all the ego actually. So if you can drop thinking, and you trust the expression state or enlightened state or the creator state, that the creator is you. So but that creator cannot be influenced by the ego. So I can never claim that I'm the controller of the creator or I am the God. I can say that, but then there is no I. As long as I'm using myself to claim it, there is nothing at all. Even before I tried to attach myself to God and something that I'm this, I'm that, I lost it, because when there is I, so then there is finding, there is desiring, there is wanting, and then there is losing, and there is suffering. So with the same I, you cannot achieve something extraordinary. So that's why so many people get stuck in self knowledge. I'm insecure, I'm not good enough, I'm not better, I cannot do this, or my life sucks, and all that. All these negative statements are just mindless words they use against the self. So this self that you have is programmed, and you are programming it, and it's living according to what you are saying to it. And it's like in the sleep, in the dream actually, and when you wake up from the dream, that nothing really matters whatever I say to myself. Of course things matter, but then you make them matter. I want to go from here to there, and if I want to go from here to there, if I don't have any sense in it, I cannot push myself, yes. But if I can understand, then only I can go from here to there. So this is how every word, every statements that we use. So we program ourselves. So the only thing that I did is I moved this self from something higher, and that is not conditioned. Maybe that is present state, or that is the truth state, or the expression state, where even if death is approaching me, I can feel that death without even experiencing it much. It means like everything becomes love. Now, of course, I'm not kind of using it in a way like, what I'm trying to say is everything starts to feel so easy, even the difficult, because the sensor that we have, I, if if so you can try, like I don't want you to drink alcohol, but when you drink alcohol and anything like that, you see that people feel good or kind of lost or unconscious because of I. So they want to escape from what is I. And if you can understand I, and understanding doesn't require much thinking. It's just that if you can drop thinking at once, like you know nothing, and then you trust something higher, that there is something higher that speaker wants to point out, and I'm doing my best, if I can use I, to point it out. But it's kind of hard. Why it's hard? Because silence is there only. So in silence, there is the expression state that you find yourself in. So in this silence, so there is nothing, and we cannot even say there is nothing, because we are using words, and this is where some get stuck, is that they try to identify with words, with knowledge of it, like they say I am enlightened, and they don't say that who is I that trying to say I'm enlightened. And when you go there, you find out that there is actually peace, and peace doesn't mean that you don't live or you don't have desires, or you understand that why you don't have desires, or you understand why you do have desires, and what you want, what you don't want. Because once you understand this me, and to understand it doesn't require much effort. It's just that you sit alone and just drop thinking completely. Like you are watching this video. I make videos not because I'm teaching something. I never want to teach anything to anyone. I just want to point out, because pointing out is something that can really help people. Books are filled with knowledge, videos people make, internet, Google, and all that, they are filled with knowledge. If knowledge was to help you, then it would, but it is not. Knowledge doesn't help. Knowledge is just knowledge. And to go beyond knowledge, that knowledge is just a resource to use it. Like the knowledge of I. This is the knowledge that I am existing, and with this I am attaching everything around me. You see that I'm born, then I will die one day. So the only thing I did is I was never born, and I can never die, because when you question I, the questioner, everything just disappears, and then the higher state you start to see for yourself, and that state is kind of expression state, is where things are so quiet. You are in completely different universe, and you start to see like what is really happening. And that is the truth. That is the natural state of every being. Like you may find this in children, in animals, in all that. And all beings deserve to be in that state, because at that state you might feel that you don't eat much. Now, I don't want to say this, but because when the mind is quiet and not chattering or not just too much into conflict or in complexity of life, solving everything every time, when it is quiet, when it is aware of everything. Now, I don't mean like don't have desires, don't want anything, just have a quiet mind, just sit alone. I never want to say anything like this, because this is again a problem for people. That's why spirituality isn't helping people, because they think that it's a destroying ego. It's about going beyond ego. It's when you have no ego, but there is something higher than ego. So this body I have, the only way I can protect it is if I am having myself. So if I see a tiger out there and I want to protect myself, okay, and now I say I have to run from this tiger. So I have to run from this tiger. So I cannot run from it if I don't tell myself here. So now I have to run. So now what I say, I have to run from tiger. So now I run from it. So what I say, I run. I have to run from tiger. I run. So there's a statement here that I give like instruction to my instrument, and then I run. And that's good, because I'm saving myself. So that state isn't about killing your mind, isn't about controlling your mind or freedom from mind. It is about, in the mind there is a small something that is there that tells you everything. So like you don't have to see like you know nothing, pretend like you know nothing. No, when you get the whole consciousness, the whole of everything, you have no way but quietness, nothing but quietness. There is no question of anything. So the state is something that is cannot be defined by me, by our ego, by our anything. Like it is something higher than us. It is not created by my parents, by my people, or anyone. It is just that you realized your mind, the whole of it, like a container, you know. And by the way, I love this cup because I love dogs, animals. So now in this container everything is stored. So I used to think like I'm stuck in my own mind, and then I felt like knowledge has become burden for me, and I kind of felt I'm getting crazy because too much thinking and wisdom, all that. And of course, it doesn't make sense now. So now in this container, everything is stored. So if you have a chance to see that, how to see this without, like, in this container, all the knowledge that society has fed, I mean, given to you, to all of us, look at it. And in this all, I mean, then if you look at it, you have no way to identify it. Can you say this? You have no way to identify if you look at it. Because everything you say out of this, so how can you say something without using it? So that's where the state lies. That's where you find yourself in expression state. You have no way to identify it. And then, of course, the only way to live through it. But now you're not in control of it anymore. So the state is there. And that's where people find happiness. That's really real happiness. And then you have a chance to make other people happy, make little fun with people, live your life, and enjoy the rest that you have. Yeah, not so much self-obsession now, because in this container, whatever is it, a cup, everything is stored. So now you cannot fight with it. For example, now there is a fighting between countries, fighting between people, or fighting your ego. And psychological fight is, they tell you that happiness, I want to be happy. So to be happy, what you do, you go and uh, you want to achieve something, you do something to make yourself happy, but you never get to see that what is happiness. Because when you question what is happiness, and you see in this glass, like, what is happiness, and this demanding keeps you in sadness and disappointment. So when you realize this, the higher state comes into the game, and then you see that the separation between you and your mind. But then you cannot say this again, because who is you to say that I separated from it? But again, you can say it with the realization, and that's why it's so hard. It's hard because it's so simple. So I call it expression state. It's when things are so quiet and there's silence, and everything you say matter. It's not that you are mechanical. So I think that's all. Thank you for watching this one.